and coast again. So we're in the 14 car in this race, and we're in the 13 last night and finished 4th and gained iRating. And so right now I'm looking at this as an opportunity to gain better points if we have the same or better finish, because the skill points potential is based on the average skill rating. So because I'm in a higher number car, despite my iRating being higher than it was at the start of the last race, I know that the same finish position will yield more points. Now there are applications and things that you can run on your computer that will give you even better information than that. I don't run those right now. I might run them in the future, but right now I run single monitor. I don't have screen space for anything other than the game, so I just kind of use it like that. I'm not also competing super competitively for any championships this season. Next year, that could change. I might try to go for, top 3 in my division in D class, which is cool. You get a little certificate for that, which is fun. A little bit of bragging rights. Something you can frame and put on the wall if you so choose. It's not money or anything like that, but iRacing doesn't have to do anything, and they choose to do something, so that's cool. That was 3 wide going into the corner. That really got my attention. Oh, and the 3's in the wall. See, I saw him hit the wall, and I just lifted a little bit. I probably didn't need to, but that allowed me to make sure that I wasn't going to get into a wreck. Make a little bit of an aggressive move, get back down underneath the 10. And didn't carry enough speed off the corner. That's one of the problems, is if you dive on into the corner, you run the risk of getting that guy getting back to the throttle faster than you and carrying more speed coming off, which he's going to do on me again. Pulls the crossover move. This is all just good hard racing. We're sitting 12th right now. No superhero stuff yet. We're all just kind of getting into the rhythm. Last night's race that I was in was a caution fest, but this race track is wide, and if it gets strung out, you can get long green flag runs. So don't want to kill the tires, but you definitely don't want to kill the aerodynamics on the car by having unnecessary contact with someone or the wall. That will hurt you at this track, because it is such a high speed and high aero track.
39.327, still inside.
Wow, I really just kind of ran right up on the bumper of that 10 car there. See, the 6 is going to go around me, but I'm going to get the crossover move and get back to the inside of him immediately, because I'm carrying more speed coming off the corner than he is.
Still there.
Now I'm just going to sail it down into the corner, try to get it woed up, and then get back to the throttle, and hopefully I won't have the same problem with him being able to cross me over. See, he's up to the outside on me there. Now we're going to run side by side, and this is critical here. Run, because you've got blind spots and you don't have real spotters to tell you exactly where that guy, oh, the 16 just ran me down to the inside. You don't want to do things that are unpredictable for the other drivers, because they won't be able to see it, and you can get a wreck just by running an unpredictable line on the straightaway or through the corner. If if the standard line is to swing out here to the wall and then just kind of gradually go down, if you're the inside car, you need to keep moving down, because if you stay up a lane, the guy to the outside of you may not be able to see you. And then same thing, when I'm on the outside lane there, I'm moving up to where the 11's going to expect me to be, because he may not see if I'm lower than that, and we might have contact as a result of me pinching him down it's just unnecessary to do. So, still fighting hard. You know, I've slipped back a little bit from my starting spot, which isn't surprising because a lot of these guys didn't take time. And I was pretty slow in qualifying. So I kind of expected to fall back a little bit. Getting our legs under us, and we'll see what happens. Now this 3 car and the 4 car, these guys I would expect to be fast over the long term in this race. Let him by. See, I knew he was inside me. I knew he was going to have the corner, but I let him go. And then decided to pull the crossover because I carried a lot of momentum. I'm able to get back to the inside and retake the position going into turn 1. Now he's going to do the same thing most likely. No, he didn't get it right. If he would have let out of the gas and gotten back to it right, he definitely could have carried more momentum coming off of that corner and probably crossed me over the same way. But he went in probably a little bit too hard to do that. Messed up his corner, and now he's side by side with the 12. Meanwhile, we're sitting here in 15th with putting 9 laps on the board now, and the car's still clean. That's the biggest thing. No damage. And I know that some of these other guys, they've already had contact, they've already gotten into the wall. You know, 50 laps, 50 laps is not a long race, but it's also not a short race. You know, these races do have some ebb and flow to them. And especially if you kill your tires or kill your car early, you will pay for it later on in the race, and that's when it really matters. That's when they don't pay you for where you are on lap 10. Obviously, that is a metaphor. They don't pay you anything for where you finish in iRacing. But points are paid out based on where you finish, not where you're running on the end of lap 15.
Sorry, buddy. Oh, Sean.
Yeah, it's the home track. Yeah, but man, I love this side-by-side racing that you get at this track. It's really something else. Good seeing you, Mike, man. Glad you got my message and you got on there. So now they're 3 wide again. That almost looked like there was going to be some contact. That yellow car there, yellow and black car is making an aggressive move. That's the 4. That doesn't surprise me, actually. He really rode me aggressively. We almost had a wreck entering turn 1 a few laps back because he pinched me up to the wall so high on corner entry there. So, mental note of that later, that's how he races. Not necessarily that I would do any revenge on him, but, you know, just know that he's not a guy that gives a lot of room. All right, here we go to the inside of the 9. Some of these guys have used up their tires more than I did early on, I think. Whatever the reason, I've been able to run them back down now. And let's see if we can make up some ground. That's 14th spot. Gonna try to put some pressure on the 4 here. Let it roll through the center. Back to the gas. I'm abusing that right front. That when you're oh my goodness. Was that caution just because the guy was blinking so bad? That guy was really blinking like crazy. 11, you're not connected in my opinion right now. It's not even that you're blinking, you're just not connected to the race. He probably knows that. It is frustrating when guys have that bad of a connection and then they still stay connected, because that's a real safety hazard for everyone else. Safety in terms of the I'm just going to use metaphors, and I'm not going to apologize for them. It's a safety hazard. I don't care that there's no real risk of injury. It creates an unsafe situation for the rest of us racing around them, and more of an opportunity of creating a wreck and us getting our cars ruined.
Behind the 4.
So let's see. You know, I'm not super convinced that you couldn't make it all the way on fuel if you needed to. 775 ping. What's up, old dog? Yeah, that is high. That is a lot of ping, and you don't want a lot of ping. You want low ping. So I don't know where he is or what the deal is with his connection, but that's not good. All right, coming on pit road, down into second gear. You want to stay up close behind the guy in front of you without running into him. What these guys are doing over here, that really annoys some people. It doesn't bother me too much. So now remember, we had the 4, the 3, and the 22.
I'll take the blame for that.
So when the 4 goes over, then I know that my pit stall's coming up in a bit. There it is, the 14. There's my pit guy. Let's get down, stop on the sign. That's actually about right where you want to stop. We're going to do right sides. We're going to get full fuel. Lefts. Put it into first. You don't need to use the clutch. And we're going to go. And the 4 beat us out of the pit lane, so we didn't gain a position, but we didn't lose anything. That's fine. The biggest thing, you can lose a whole lot of spots on pit road if you speed, if you slide through your pits. Obviously, if you get into a wreck with someone on pit road, that is the absolute worst. You can gain positions, and those positions are nice, but usually the way that you gain positions on pit road is by other people making those mistakes, or by, you know, people having damage that they decide to fix. It's difficult to, oh, he's from Brazil. But, yeah, it's difficult to really gain a ton of positions. It's not like you see where, you know, guys will have an insanely good pit crews and they'll be gaining 3 or 4 pit stops. That doesn't happen in iRacing. Driver error is what separates people on pit road. So as long as you're doing your job, see, we ended up gaining 3 or 4 spots just by virtue of having a good pit stop. You know, just clean. And that's what you want to do. You want to make sure that you don't lose anything, so that you're in a position, both so that you don't lose spots, and then also so that you're in a position to take advantage of other people's mistakes.
I'm around the 17.
Michael McLain mentioned that he got caught speeding, and there he goes. So this caution is going to be a good break for us. You know, we were running outside of the top 10. Now we're going to be we should be restarting 7th with Michael dropping back there. And like I was saying at the beginning of this broadcast, if, you know, I finished 4th yesterday. If I finish 4th or better in this race, I should get more points than I got yesterday for that 4th place finish. Yeah. Well, so we had a 15-lap run, and like you were seeing, there was a lot of close side-by-side racing. There were guys who got in the wall. There were guys who had contact. So you had one guy who was speeding, probably had a couple of guys slide through their pits, and you might have had some guys repairing damage. All those things happen. California's pit road I find to be a little bit tricky, because it is so wide. It makes it, you know, you can see the pit stalls, which is really nice, but the fact that it's so wide and you have to cut across so much does make it a little bit difficult to judge your entry point, in my opinion, versus some of the other tracks where the pit stalls are closer to the right-hand lane where you're running by the wall. But yeah, I mean, we had a pretty good pit stop there. We stopped on the button about where you want to and got back to the gasket and got up to speed. So I'm not surprised that we gained a few spots there. Hung right, and we've been hanging right with the 4-car all race. That guy's 10 numbers higher than we are. So that's good too.
I understand that. That's what I'm going as hard as I can.
Feeling pretty good about the way that this race is going all over. All right, so we're restarting in 7th. That's the 4th row. There's the leader. Always feels good to see the leader. And we're going to be completing lap 18, so it's going to be 32 laps to go. Which again, you know, that's about twice as long. That's more than twice as long as we ran green that last time. So odds of getting another caution are pretty good. But if we don't get a caution, these tires are going to be absolutely dead meat by the end of this run. Got a really good start. We're 3 wide heading into 1, which is uncomfortable, and that's why. Not touch that apron. I probably pinched myself down lower than I needed to be, but look at this. All those spots, all that time that we gained, all that work that we had done is over. Now we're going to be back 23rd. That hurts. And it's just, you cannot, you want to get right on that white line, especially if you decide to go in 3 wide. You need to keep the car low and make sure you don't wash up and cause a big wreck. But you can't touch it. It's just, at this track in particular, the car gets super loose if you touch that apron. So we got some work to do now. And not a whole lot of time to do it in. So just kind of roll the corner, get back on the gas, and see if we can charge up through here. I'm sure there will be another wreck, so we don't want to be a part of that. And unfortunately, now that we're back here, it will most certainly be in front of us. And it could be right in front of us the way that these guys are running. Something else that you'll notice the more you run, up in front, guys tend to get a little bit better spaced out. You tend to have a little bit more room to race. Mid to back pack is an absolute knife fight all the way through. If you are driving as aggressively as you should be and trying to work up through what's in the back of the pack, it gets very crowded and you're going to be very close to people. Sometimes you can find pockets of space to ride, but if you want to keep moving forward, you're not going to be sitting in those pockets for terribly long. And after restarts, I mean, look at this. This guy's got some damage. He shouldn't give us too much trouble. We're going to go down to the inside.
Still outside.
And make a clean pass going into 3. So we've already picked up 2 spots back to 21st. There's the top 20. And yeah, this is the big thing. Mistakes are going to happen. Everyone's going to make mistakes. You try to minimize your mistakes as much as possible, but the worst thing that you can do after you've made a mistake is make another one. Don't compound it and make it worse. When I knew that the car was sideways and I'd lost that corner, I got out of it, got down to the apron, got out of everyone's make sure I didn't get run over, make sure I didn't destroy the car, and that was a pivotal moment in this race. That easily could have been race over, finish outside of the, you know, I could have finished where I fell back to. You know, every position that I gain from this point forward is as a result of not making the wrong decision and making that worse. I recovered, I lost some track position, but I still have a car that has no damage on it. which is going to be hugely valuable the later that this race goes. The race I did last night where I finished 4th, there were maybe 5 cars that didn't have damage, and so, you know, if you had one of those 5, you finished top 5. And that can happen a lot in iRacing. You know, these guys are not professional NASCAR drivers. They make mistakes. You know, because if you keep your car clean, you're always in a position to capitalize on the mistakes of your competitors. And you can gain a lot of I rating if you just consistently race cleanly. Gaining I rating is important because the more I rating you have, the higher the split that you run in, the more points potential you have. So that was 2 more positions. And again, I was in a position to capitalize on someone else's mistake. So now I've caught a fairly large pack of cars. I'm probably faster than a good chunk of these guys that are in front of me. But I'm not going to try to gain positions on these guys, get them all in one corner. This is, it's 25 laps to go. Be methodical, try to pick them off one position at a time. That's kind of the goal. And that's the thought process and the mentality that I've got as I go in here. Sail down in there, get on the brakes, pick up the throttle, run that first seam nicely. And if come off the corner with more speed than the guys in front of you, and you're doing really well. That's what we've got here. We're going to dive it in on the 24. And if you're going to make a move like that, make it a decisive move and make it clear to the other guy what you're doing. You don't want them to have any thought of throwing that block on you and putting your guys into a bad situation. If you're indecisive, they'll think that you were just peeking, and they'll shut the door on you. Make a clearly decisive move. See right here? I've decided that this is going to be my line to the inside. If he thinks about blocking it, I'm coming up on him with so much speed that he doesn't even consider it. And there we go. That's another position. So we've gained, I think, 3 positions now by running down and passing guys, and then another 4 positions from guys who have had contact and spun out. So those 7 spots put us back into 16th. And I just overshot turn 1. Didn't panic. Made the decision that we're going to run the high line. And, we didn't get a great corner, but we didn't lose a ton of time, and we carried good speed coming off the corner. Back down into 3 and 4, let it roll, pick the throttle back up. And now I'm just going to try to, let's see, Teddy Wykle is a half second in front of me here in the 19 car. And, ever since I caught back up to this pack, I haven't gotten past him, but he's been the car right in front of me, so we've been kind of working through this pack together. Now that there's a little space up to the next pack, I want to see if I can get by him and be in front of him when we catch the next group of cars. And rolling the corner, and again, picking it up, 0.4 of a second back of him. We are gaining a little bit of time on the next pack too.
39.842, about 21 laps to go.
So now we're 20 to go. Thank you, Spotter, for letting me know that. And see there, he ran a little bit wide. I got the better line through the corner. And I'm carrying more speed and using that advantage. That's what we like to do. Roll off the gas on the brakes and just kind of roll it. What I did there with the throttle, you don't want to do. I kind of feathered it. You want to get back in smoothly and confidently. So that was a little bit of a mistake, and it cost me about 1/10 of a second. those mistakes just kind of add up throughout the race. The guys who don't make mistakes at all are the ones who finish up front. The rest of us mere mortals, we make mistakes and we pay for them. So I've run down Teddy, and we're both running down the 15. I'm going to try to make a move on Teddy before we get to him. I'm going to fill his mirror and make sure that he knows that I'm there. Hopefully he's just going to let me go. He knows that I'm faster than him. He's seen me gaining. Signal my intent and take the spot, and he didn't fight it. That's exactly what we want. And that also didn't cost us time. And now we've got a caution.
Outside. There will be a caution. Left, save fuel. Zero's closed. Come around to 19.
All right, here we go. So we've got enough fuel to the end. I'm going to go ahead and flip that off. One thing I always recommend is set up hotkeys on your steering wheel so that you can navigate your menus. I have one button to cycle forward through the menus and another to cycle back. That's really all you need. If you have a button box, if you've got more buttons, by all means, use them so that you can go directly to the menu that you want. That's even faster. But have buttons for cycling the menus and have controls for manipulating the menus so that you don't have to go fumbling around for your keyboard when you need to make changes to your pit stop strategy. Even if you're under caution, you know, that's the only time when you even get any time at all to really think about it. But you don't have much time to make that decision, so you want to make sure that you're giving yourself the ability to make those things quickly so that you can still focus on driving. A wreck under caution is still a wreck and will still put you out of the race. So here we go. Right to 55. Right on the 15's bumper here. I bet he is going to repair that damage that he's got. So we should pick up a position from him if we do this correctly, and we might pick up more than that. There's the 4 pit. There's the 3. There's mine, the 14. I'm swinging down, getting on the brakes, and sliding right to a stop. That cut it close. I almost slid through my pit stall there. I didn't. This should be a good stop, and we should probably pick up a couple spots here. Let's see. So we came out behind the 3. We were behind him coming in, so that's fine. We came out just in front of the 19 and the 21, who I think was maybe in front of us. So we did gain some spots there again. I think we're going to be back inside the top 10.
All right, buddy. Line up behind the 3.
So 2 good pit stops. And that's probably it. If we run 3 or 4 laps, we might pit again, but that's probably the last pit stop. There might be one more just in case. I'm going to go ahead now. I know I'm not going to be taking on fuel, so I'm going to do that. Fuel can change the setup of your car a little bit, but fuel also adds weight. And at this track, I'm not sure if it's the right call, but I want the car as light as possible. So I'm not adding any extra weight that's going to be sloshing around in the back of the car that I don't have to. I'm actually going to pull my glove off here for a second and do something that I don't recommend doing. But I've got a lap under caution, so I saw my phone's blowing up. I'm just going to check it. I'm getting missed calls, so I will return those in a bit. Just wanted to make sure there wasn't an important message or something that I was missing. So we're looking at 14 to go. Probably going to be 13 to, yeah, it'll be 13 to go when we get the green. So, this one's been an exciting one. I hope you guys are enjoying it. How you guys doing in chat? Not too much to talk about here under yellow. Let's take a look at this guy, Tony Ball. Tony started right behind me, working hard. Nice. You making more clouds? Yeah, Mike, if you don't mind, or if you want to, go ahead and drop a little promo link to your Etsy store for your clouds. Yeah, man, that steering wheel, hopefully it'll come tomorrow. I haven't checked the tracking number today, but hopefully you get that tomorrow. I'm looking forward to doing a race with you when you get that set up, man. Mike's only been running rookie because he's been running a controller. I sent him my old G27, so he's going to be set up to, yeah. And I don't blame him for this. He didn't feel confident running the D-Class cars with the controller. That car's just got way too much power. There you go. So check that link out. That's pretty awesome. You can get a cloud that has 100 LEDs inside of it, and it flashes and makes lightning like a storm cloud, which is really cool. There you go. So that's good stuff. I'm thinking, Mike, maybe I'll do a whole storm cloud paint scheme for you. We'll try to get you a few more sales off the channel here. But here we go. 1 to green. We got 13 laps to go, and we are restarting in 10th, which I think was where we qualified. So 37 laps to get right back to where we started. Hopefully we can avoid making any more mistakes. Don't touch the apron again. And we'll continue working forward. Misshift on that restart cost us a little bit. We might lose 1 spot from that. Nothing too major.
Still there?
21 cars really pushing the issue. Oh, there's another caution, and that's why.
Goddamn caution for.
See? That's why you race hard. Props to the 21 car for that. That is exactly why you race hard. He was in front of me. You know, that was a contested position. Could have gone either way, but because he was in front when we passed the last timing line before the caution comes out, the spot's his. He's now going to start a row in front of me.
You're going to be lining up behind
but,
21.
You know, it's not too bad. I'm going to start on the inside in the row behind him. So I've got this opportunity to do the same thing to him that he did to me on that last restart, if things work out well.
Line up behind the 21.
Tony Ball did the same thing to the guy starting on the outside in front of him. He restarted 9th. So, you know, I say pit road matters. Everything matters, man. He started on the inside of my row. He is now 8th and I'm 11th because of the way that our restarts went. Yeah, you definitely need a Resense paint scheme, man. You got to promote, you know, that is your car. Use that to promote you.
Open.
So here we go. Like I said, I thought that the last pit stop was going to be the last one in the race, and now I'm pretty sure that that's going to be the case. These tires have a half lap on them. There's some guys in the back of the pack that are going to be pitting, but I'm not going to do it. And there's still 20 cars on the lead lap. Track position's more important than
25.
1 lap pressure tires, that's for sure.
Have a free pass coming on the outside.
Oh, there goes Randy. I've raced with him a bunch. It's too bad that he got caught up in a wreck earlier. Got to give a shout out to the 8 cars paint scheme there. That Harry Gant Skull Bandit, that is cool. Mark Oliver, he's running a really cool paint scheme.
Hey Marcelo, stop private messaging me, man.
And it's also cool seeing the old Kevin Harvick 21 on the 21 car there. That's the scheme that Harvick came into the Cup Series with when he replaced Dale Earnhardt after Dale's crash. So yeah, it's a pretty cool. It's always fun seeing the different retro schemes that people run, but it's also fun. You know, I don't contribute to the retro schemes. I run, you know, paint scheme for myself, promoting stuff that I want to promote. But it's fun to see what, you know, people do with it, with their custom schemes too. Occasionally I will run a retro scheme, but usually I run my own stuff. So, pacing under caution here, driving by the vans on the front, stands on the front straightaway. Not worrying about saving fuel. Actually, would not mind burning some off, but don't want to get the engine temps up too much. Cooler engine, I think, is supposed to run a little bit faster. Yeah, 1 lap, 4 tires, fuel, tear off, repaint the car, change the oil, replace. Thankfully, we're not replacing any quarter panels. Some of the other guys running around me might have to do that, but we've kept them clean this whole race, and you know, we're gonna have, it looks like, 8 laps to go with this restart. So top 5, not out of reach, but not likely unless something happens. Gaining 6 spots in 5 laps, that's a tall order. I know that if I get the opportunity to get down to the inside of Mark again on this restart, one thing is I don't expect him to give me too much room. The other is I need to make sure that I don't hit that apron again. I'm going to keep it up above there and drive a better line than I did. Because, you know, this is it, man. Any spot you get is a spot that you're probably going to hold to the end. So we're going to take the gloves off again, metaphorically speaking. The gloves are staying right where they are, and go get us some positions. Hopefully. Everyone's got that same mentality. So here we go. Lined up double file. Right behind this Skull Bandit car again. Right where we were a number of laps ago when we were restarting behind him. Although that was when we were restarting 7th, now we're restarting 11th. So since that point, he's slipped back a little bit, and we've been marching forward, and hopefully we can continue to use that momentum and get a few more spots before this thing's over. Just admiring your paint scheme there, Mark.
Me?
I said Mark, not Michael.
Oh. Excuse me.
He's got the handsome Harry Gant paint scheme. It's pretty nice.
You're ready to roll here, man.
All right, here we go. It's a little bit low so that we can see when the leader goes. There it is.
Green flag.
Once again, we got a better start than Mark did. I am not going to push this thing 3 wide. Well, maybe we are.
Still out there at the door.
Oh, God dang it again.
Outside.
Saved it a little bit better that time.
Still outside. 2 wide outside.
Oh, come on.
Outside.
All these positions.
In and outside.
Dang it.
Working the top, 1 wide. Looks
Just
clear,
too
clear,
low.
clear.
Lost all those spots again. Oh, seriously? It's going to give me a 4X for that because that guy went and wrecked himself?
Pit road is closed.
That's BS.
Alright, you're going to have to come around at 11.
Somebody's dead.
Let's see. That was
Two
2
people.
laps on the
Actually,
tires.
two drivers
I'm still
are
not
dead
going to pit.
after that.
We're going to get another restart. Yeah, I can't believe that. He's blocking. Well, I mean, I was running a lot faster than him. I barely touched him, and he. Yeah, I know. That was barely a tap. And I don't know, in my opinion, he kind of had it coming. I had a good run, and he just shut the door on me.
Alright, looks like you're going to be lining
And
up
then
behind the
that
nine.
little bump, and he just lost his mind.
All right, Jacob, we'll see you out there.
All I did was, I just, gave him a little bump because he shut the door on me, and then he just lost his mind there.
Gonna line up behind the 9. Open.
All right. So we're 15th, and this is going to be a most likely 1-lap shootout. That's mainly a defense on pit road, because if everyone behind me comes, then I probably should get tires. I mean, why not? But I don't need them.
Keep it up, my man. 5 to go.
Checked up a little little when he decided to try and be my mustache. Yeah, I know. And he cost me a 4X, man. I didn't want that. I'm trying to improve my safety rating. But that's how iRacing works. If you have contact with a car, it assigns you responsibility for anything that happens after that contact for, a little bit of time, which is fair. It's just that, in that situation, his deal didn't really have, what happened to him didn't really have anything to do with my contact. He just went up there and wrecked. So now we get to play dodge the wreck, basically, on this restart. And I need to stop touching the apron through 1 and 2. I think it's just because I'm entering. When I enter too low, I do the same arc that I do normally, which, pinches it coming off. That should have been a 0. It was a 0x. It was a 0x until he wrecked, and then it was a 4x. So, whatever. Usually it's a 0x. This time it was a 4x. It's fine. At this point, safety ratings more pride than anything. I'm in Class A. I'm not in any danger of losing my license. So,
Close.
it just gives me something to complain about under caution more than anything. But yeah, thank you though. I appreciate the vote of support. That does mean a lot. So we're gonna 2 to go. That means that we're gonna restart with 2 laps to go and give you guys an exciting finish here. Hopefully they don't wreck going into 1 on the first lap, because then it shuts off and it's over and I don't get the option to gain a bunch of spots. Get through the first lap. If there's a wreck, then they won't throw the yellow on the white flag lap, so we'll be able to race it out, and that's what we're hoping for. might still be able to get a top 10 out of this. Definitely should be able to gain some iRating. Well, I'm in the 14 car, so you know, if I gain 3 spots, it'll probably break even or gain a little bit. Love to get a top 10 and continue my top 10 streak. I think the top 5 is lost, and now I really am just rambling. But I was watching some videos today on ways that I can, you know, improve my stream, and one of the big ones that really clicked is to just run the inner monologue and talk the entire time. You don't want to have dead air time on your stream, and I know that I do that a lot, so I'm just trying to keep my mouth moving and keep it running, and hopefully that's more entertaining for you guys. If you guys have feedback on what you think about my stream, I got no ego. I've got 5 viewers right now, which is about the maximum.
And it blows up.
Yeah. Never know if they all wreck. That's true. Only pauses for dramatic effect are a lot. Thanks, Mike. Yeah. And that's what we're shooting for. Hopefully I, you know, continue racing and don't fall asleep at the wheel myself here, which means that hopefully you guys don't fall asleep. I'm having a lot of fun with this channel. I hope you guys are having fun with it. I want it to grow and be something fun for folks. You know, racing's a passion of mine, and it's neat that Twitch provides an opportunity for me to create a channel that's a cool place to come hang out and appreciate racing, which is really what this thing's about. So, second gear, here we go right here where pace car is going to pull off. Going to try to keep an eye on that leader and go right when he goes. And there it is. Now you can pass to the outside before the start-finish line, and that is exactly what we're going to do.
In and out, outside clear. One wide, 1 minute 34.606. Still inside. Still inside.
And I think we might have just gained 2, maybe 3 spots. We're up to 12th, it looks like. So that worked well. 3 spots gained on the restart. These guys are checking up. We've got momentum. We've got we still got to run on the 19, but I had to get out of the gas. This is the white flag lap.
White flag lap, my man. 40.14.
Gonna sail it down into the corner, and he better not come down and block me because I ain't lifting this time.
Still outside. Clear high.
Picked off the 19. Got the 21 in front of us for 10th. Look at this. I'm going to try to make a move on the closer right now. Or one of his fans. There we go. Oh! Oh! Oh, that hurt. And we're down to the inside. It's going to be side by side at the line.
Still outside.
Did not get him, I don't think. No, we did! Ha ha!
Checker flag.
No, we didn't.
Awesome job.
That's good, man. That's a good point today. Good solid day.
So we got 10th, though. That's a top 10. I'm happy with that. Anytime you finish higher than your car number is usually a pretty good race. That was fun. That was good racing, guys. That was fun. Nice win, Tommy.
Congratulations, Tommy. Good win.
Yeah, we're gonna watch the replay, and see how close that was, because we were door to door. Yeah, the position that I picked up was the guy that went straight into I mean, he got hooked. Just absolutely straight as an arrow into the outside wall there. That's one of those ones where you're glad that it's a sim, because that's a hard hit. Those are the kind of hits that hurt people.
Park it there.
So let's see. We're going to watch that entire last 2 laps here, this from the restart. I think TV2 is a little better. So here we go. I get on it a little bit before the 18 car, and that's how I'm able to pick up, and boom, there's the 18, there's the 9, there's the 24. I'm going to get all 3 of those spots on the restart. Roll down into the corner, and big thing here is just riding the top and maintain my momentum so that coming off the corner, I'm able to stay out in front of the 18. That's a cool shot, the speed camera. Look at this jockeying for position. Everyone's using the whole track there. And there's where it got jammed up in front of me. That 13 car caused the 21 and the 19 to check up, and that allowed me to get right to the quarter panel on the 19. Make a good run down the straightaway. Oh, there goes the 9 through the grass. And we're making the position. And we missed the start of the D-Class race, so we'll do trucks next. I don't even know where the trucks are running this week. So here we go, last corner. And I've got a good run on the 21. I backed up the corner. There goes the 16 into the wall. That was a hard hit. And he got clobbered, it sounded like. We'll go back and take a look at that. But here's the finish. I want a good camera. There we go. And we're going to slow it down. We're going to slow it down even more. Look at that. He beat me to the line, but not by much. Super slow-mo. There it is. All right. Now, what happened back here? Oh, all these guys. Oh, and he flipped over too. It's the 3 car right on his bumper. And pushing him and just, oh man. Yeah, Radek might be pissed about that. That wasn't too cool. Just boom. Right into the outside wall. The 20 gets into him. Radek goes rolling over.